Come tour our Jayco Northpoint 377 RLBH, that's BH for bunkhouse, and we'll tell you why we felt it was a perfect match for our two boys and us to travel the US. So first things first, this is probably the best upgrade we ever made to this rig, which was a $12 Amazon purchase. Screen. Before we got this, the boys would basically play with this part of the door non-stop. If I can get it off, they would just basically go like this. So we don't have to use this anymore because we can have the whole door open and stop the flies coming in. If you just leave it open, you're just going to have flies everywhere. You're going to be swatting flies, which is one of my least favourite things to do. So this is the living room. The reason that we liked this rig was really the amount of living room space and all the windows. So you got windows on this side, windows in the back, and then a window on this side. And out of all the rigs we looked at, it was really the one that had the most light coming in, which we really wanted because a lot of the RVs, they just feel like the kitchen living room are small and it's kind of dark, and we like bright things. So that was really important for us. This is all standard furniture, so we haven't done anything yet to make it actually more homey. This folds down into a bed. We don't really use it because the kids have their own bedroom, which is another reason we like this rig. One of the main features we liked as well was that the TV's not taking up space because it has a televator. Obviously the boys love this as well, playing with it all the time. It didn't come with a smart TV. I installed that, which actually harder than you would think to replace it on a televator. There wasn't many guides on YouTube. And I figured it out. If you do have that issue, then message me and I can tell you how I did it. It'll either be really easy or it'll be a little bit difficult because it's installed differently from what the standard would be, which is what happened with us. But that's another story. So the televator, really cool because that gives you a whole extra window that was important to us. This is a really useful fireplace and space heater. For some reason it's a really loud beep that you can't turn off, so if anyone has this model and knows how to turn off the beep, leave a comment, because when we've got the kids to sleep and we need to put some heat on, and you have to change it to the temperature you want and then turn it on, that's what basically happens, which is super weird to me. This is a stereo system, Bluetooth, which we don't use that often, but it's kind of a cool feature if you want to listen to podcasts while doing the cleaning up or something like that. Which is what people do. I'm going to talk about storage. Kitchen, we like the island because obviously you can go all the way around it. You can do the dishes while looking at your windows. It's a pretty good space. It has an extra cutting board / dishes area that we don't really use because these sharp edges for the boys running around here, and it looks cluttered. So we use that for special occasions if we're doing a big cook day. Or something like that, which is kind of nice. Just a standard fridge with the propane plus the electric, which is nice for travel days because we can leave our fridge on, which I know is controversial, but we're doing it anyway. This is the Midbunk. So this was kind of the big feature that led us to this model as well, was to have the Midbunk so that we had bedroom options for the boys, because we have a 2.5-year-old and a 4-year-old. At some point we might put them in the same room. This Midbunk gives us that option, but currently they're separate, so we have the youngest in here, and then Logan, the oldest, is in the loft, which is up here, which we'll show you in a minute. This door is awful, FYI, so it doesn't stay on this railing, it'll jump off when you travel. There is a way to lock it here, but even when it's on here, it'll fly off. It's broken this before. We had to get this replaced, which is the extraction fan button. So really there needs to be a better design for this the next time around Jayco. But this is the Midbunk. So ultimately this folds down and you can really just have someone on the bottom, someone on the top. There's a window behind here. It's kind of dark in here right now because we have this up because this is Cooper's bed in here. This slide comes in. And obviously over here you have kind of either a desk option if you want this to be an office, or we currently use it as a changing table for Cooper. That's the desk option. This is Cooper's clothes. There's pretty good storage options in here. Lots of storage up here. This one goes through to the other side, which is really useful. But obviously this comes all the way in and gives you all this extra space, which we try and use this for space for the kids to play or have quiet time.
This is where we keep all the kids' shoes, and it's super duper handy. We have like some of our winter stuff here, just handy items there. Keep my purse in there, stuff like that. More storage here. This is our control panel, and I bumped my head on that like
yeah, not the best design.
50,000.
Because Heather always leaves this door open.
Bunk.
So it doesn't matter which way you're coming from.
I don't
Gonna
always
hit you in the
leave it
face.
open, just sometimes.
Pretty much.
There is a little bit of storage for shoes in here, but I would love to see this fold up and this fold up and see more shoe storage. This is an in-house vacuum. Love that feature. Super handy. Up the hallway. Good size hallway. I never feel really cramped in here. Do you?
Yes.
Okay, David does. I don't. This is Logan's loft. We have this curtain that the previous owner put in, which is very handy. And check it out.
So the window also has curtains to obviously stop the light coming in and keep it cool in here. And you have storage over this side for books or toys. So it's a pretty cool space that Logan really likes going up to and having his own time up here. Into the bathroom. So the shower is nice and big for me. I fit in here because of the, what are we calling this?
Skylight.
Skylight. My head fits in here. You got what are we calling it?
A teak wood seat.
A teak wood seat, which we never really use, but use it to put things on.
I use it to shave my legs.
Oh, Heather uses it to shave her legs. Great. That's cool. So Heather doesn't always buy useful things, but I have to give it to her. This is one of the best things she's bought in the last 6 months, because the boys would just have a shower and they would always get kind of cold just standing in the shower. So this is basically an RV bathtub, which bada bing, bada boom. You put the plug in. Both of them will sit in there and kind of enjoy the bath together, which is super cool. And you pull the plug out and you fold it up just like this in here. So Heather put the link for that on our page here because it's a super cool option. This got replaced 6 months ago. So we got the rig. It came with just the standard MDF board made of wood, which is not waterproof. And then it leaked immediately and it all warped. We had an under the counter sink, which was annoying because all of your water would splash everywhere. So we went for the above counter sink and the above counter faucet, whatever we're calling that type of faucet, which was a super cool upgrade.
Waterfall.
We got all the stuff from Wayfair. So this is from Wayfair, this is from Wayfair. This was not, but we went to the local RV dealership in our area to get that ordered, and they knew someone, and we got a custom fit, which is pretty cool. And in the bedroom, we get the Beddies, which is super cool. It zips all the way up, and it's if it's a cold night, you keep pretty warm in there because you're zipped up, and it's easy to make the bed, which we do every day. It looks like this, the bed, pristine condition. We like that you have the windows either side. So again, nice and bright. We like to wake up and look at the neighbours releasing their poop from their RV, one of our favourite things. And so this is also the office. When we got it, this dresser, which we keep Logan's clothes in, this would kind of fold up and down for kind of like jewellery storage or whatever. We changed that so that instead it comes out like this to form a makeshift desk. So this is laptop, mouse, internet. This is the best solution we've found for a desk chair, and it's awful, it breaks my back. So if anyone has a good option for a foldable RV desk chair, please post it in the comments, because my back needs it. I have a very tall frame and it needs a more comfy seat than this. But this is basically me looking out my window, looking at people emptying their poop while I work. There's a good amount of storage in here. This will all be like fuzzed out with a Gaussian blur when I open this because it's messy. But we have a printer and lots of clothes in here just now. There is the hookups ready for washer dryer, but we still haven't decided if we want a washer dryer because it just makes so much noise and you'll just be doing laundry non-stop, and I kind of like...
It's kind of nice to go to a
like just going somewhere
laundromat
and doing it once a week.
Yeah.
And you're not using up all that space and adding weight to your rig, which we are close to our limit on the weight as well. There's a consideration there. And anything else?
You covered it.
Okie dokie. There's also a Bluetooth connection with this model, which is really useful if you're lying in bed, let's say you want to change the temperature, or you're outside and you want to make sure your slide is actually going to open without hitting something like a cabana, for instance. So the app, really easy to use. It's a little bit laggy, so sometimes you'll have to press the button 2 or 3 times. Here's the outside. I'm going to talk about the main features and then also talk about some add-ons that came with our rig from the previous owner. So this is the mid-bunk slide. It comes out pretty far. It's the one that comes out the furthest. The bedroom slide also comes out pretty far, but the mid-bunk we always need to be careful we're not too close to our utilities here, as we have had to readjust a couple of times. This comes out probably a foot further than the big kitchen slide. And we have the Nautilus system here, which is pretty foolproof these days. So you have, obviously you know which of the 4 levers to switch depending if you're dry camping, if you're filling the tank, if you're winterizing, or just city water is the normal hookup situation. So the water goes in there, you got your standard filter, and that's your pump for if you're using fresh water tank, if you're boondocking. And then the jack system is pretty standard. The auto level has not worked once since we've had it. I think that's pretty standard, but it's pretty easy to just do the front or the rear jacks. And literally what I do, I have this works perfectly because it's magnetic, so it sticks here. I do have these Bluetooth speakers. These are the same ones that work inside on the above the fireplace. So there's different zones. You can have music on out here, podcasts, whatever. Pretty cool feature. Currently we have a Blackstone which comes with it, which is pretty nice. This comes all the way out. Obviously you can grill. Basically there's an attachment that goes to the propane here, connects straight up. Pretty easy to start, cook, and it does come with the fridge. We don't really use it that often, so we might take that out and just use it for extra storage. And your normal propane, you have 2 bottles connected at once, so if, as always happens, at 2 in the morning you run out of propane when you're running your heating, you can just switch over to the next one. This is the 3rd propane tank, so this is just the spare. Lifting it up, and we'll attach it up here. Can you reach?
Yeah.
I'll do that bit for you. Thank you. So in the front here we have good storage options. So this is the hydraulics for the jacks. Up here we store our chairs and our hammock. So these rocking chairs, which are very, very comfortable, recommend those. We've got our batteries in the front here.
What?
This is the canopy for a wagon that we have for the boys.
Yeah.
That Cooper's going to play with for about 10 minutes and then leave somewhere.
Yeah,
Right,
go
Coop?
to wagon.
Yes, for the wagon. You want to get the wagon out?
Yep.
So when we bought it, there were several features that the previous owner had already added to it in the year that he had had it, such as this Moride reel in here, which basically we use. Just ignore the water hose. So we use this for our electric cable because it's big and bulky, it's hard to store it. But if you just put one end here and wrap it all the way in, it's a pretty good use of space. Again, it's MORIDE, slides all the way out, gives you easy access to all the storage in the back here. So it's a little bit cluttered right now, but you know, we've got our generator in here. We have a table, a TV, all the tools. This one, water hoses, etc. Dog food. Makes it super easy to access. And it's an £800 storage solution. He smartly added the fresh tank, black tank, and the grey tank sizes just for reference here at all times. So the fresh is 75, the others are 50. But anyway, under this slide is where he added these two tubes that go all the way underneath, and you can probably guess what they're for. It's for your sewage hoses. So we literally have 3 sewage hoses, and they all fit in here, and it's easy enough to not waste any of your extra storage or have your sewage pipes in with stuff that you don't want your sewage pipes touching. I literally just installed some new steel tires here, all steel radial tubeless. Basically they are, instead of your standard 80 psi, these are actually 110 psi's. So we actually had to get a Viair that specifically went up to that level. Okay, so the main pros of this model are really the mid-bunk gives you the flexibility of the sleeping arrangements for the boys, so you can have them both in the mid-bunk, or you can have them like we've got it. We've got one in the mid-bunk and one in the loft above. There's plenty of space in there to really customize it to be bunk beds, 2 single beds. Because you've got the mid-bunk that then creates the really bright space in the back. You have the back windows, the side windows all around, kind of wraparound windows that you don't see in other RVs, because obviously there's rooms at the back. So that's really what we liked, was the nice big high ceiling living space. With wraparound windows really appealed to us for this model. The cons, the separation from the living room and the mid-bunk really isn't ideal, because the sliding door, you know, it doesn't stop the sound coming in for the mid-bunk, and then the loft above is just open air, so really any sounds you make in the living room, kitchen, you know, doing dishes or whatever it is at night, it wakes up the boys, or they just hear you out there and they just want to come and hang out with you at this age, so that really is a challenge. The 42 feet is probably a con. It is a long rig. You know, you're restricted to what state and national parks you can go to. You're going to need a dually truck to tow it. You know, you could tow it with a non-dually, but you'd have to be right at the very advanced features of a non-dually to be able to cope with it. We really like the dually, and I've parked it many a downtown without issue, across the West Coast, across Michigan, Upper Peninsula. Like a glove. Is this the best floor plan for toddlers? No, I wouldn't say it was, and it's not that it's not a good option. It's really, it depends on everyone's needs. I know it's a cop-out, depending on what you want. We wanted the big living space and the windows, and we wanted the option of the mid-bunk for the different sleeping arrangements, so certainly, if that appeals to you, really is a good rig. It really isn't a perfect floor plan. All have pluses and minuses, and that's what RV travel's all about. It's all about adapting. You can switch rigs forever and never find one that suits everything that you're trying to do. If we were starting over, we would have probably gone with the toy hauler, since we're already at a large length anyway. Toy haulers are kind of 42 to 45 feet, so we could create more separation between the boys' rooms and the living space. Alright, thanks for touring our rig. Follow us as our next couple of videos. We're going to talk about what we're doing for internet and everything that's gone wrong for us in our first year, including costly mistakes, costly accidents, costly RV techs. So we'll see you there. Take care.